So, the sequel to Breath of the Wild is now in development, and we got our first look at it in the form of a trailer at Nintendo's E3 Direct. There was so much revealed in the trailer, but one important message that was conveyed was that Link and Zelda were exploring some sort of underground labyrinth. At first, you could be mistaken in thinking that they found a single solitary cave system, but I don't think that's the case. What if I told you that the ancient Zonai tribe built a city underneath Hyrule, a cave system full of terrifying undead creatures waiting for their master's order to be unleashed? What if I told you that Calamity Ganon was just a ruse, and that the true threat to the peoples of Hyrule was beneath them all this time, waiting to rise up and attack the surface dwellers? Ultimately, Hyrule won't be fighting against another realm or an army in this new Zelda. This time, the Hylains, Zora, Rito and Gerudo will face an attack from a place they never thought possible: the Earth itself. To begin, in case you didn't know, the Zonai were an ancient tribe that inhabited the land of Hyrule long ago. While they are long gone, their legacy can be found all across the land in the form of massive structures such as the Zonai labyrinth and the dragon statues found in the Faron region. I made a video discussing exactly who they were, click in the card in the corner, which included the fact that they were nomadic and most likely had magical powers. However, one of the things that I could not answer was their eventual fate. Now, with the new trailer for the sequel out, I may finally have an answer. So, in the trailer, we see that the interior of the caves that Link and Zelda are exploring are covered in architecture that matches the Zonai structures. In addition, we also see what looks to be the entrance of the cave system being built in the same Zonai pattern that was so familiar to us now. These two pieces of evidence prove that the Zonai built the cave in the trailer. We can also safely assume that these caves stretch out all across the land, as Link and Zelda are seen with lots of equipment and Zelda is seen drinking water from an underground pool, a clear sign that they have been exploring for quite some time now. If they had been exploring for days, maybe even weeks, then we have to draw to the conclusion that the cave system is very large. How large? Maybe big enough to encompass the whole of Hyrule. We finally have an answer to where the Zonai went. They went underground. We'll get back to the Zonai's fate soon, but first we must discuss that at the end of the trailer, Hyrule Castle is seen rising out of the earth. This is most likely a direct result of Link and Zelda awakening the corpse of Ganondorf, but that's a topic for another video. What's important now is that we see the castle rising further out of the ground. This is because there is, assuming that my theory is correct, another structure underneath the castle is making its way to the surface. This next bit is cool, so brace yourself. Hyrule Castle is not the only part of Hyrule that is going to rise. I believe that when Ganondorf awakened, it triggered the main parts of the underground Zonai cave system to rip a hole in the earth and rise up out of the ground. The Zelda producer, Mr. Eiji Aonuma, has stated that Breath of the Wild 2 will take place in the same map as the first game. While Mr. Aonuma is definitely telling the truth, Hyrule will probably not look exactly the same. The underground cave system rising up out of the ground will drastically change the geography and be the change that we need to make the land varied enough to warrant a sequel. It would make this game have the same version of Hyrule as Breath, yet give us a brand new perspective on the beloved landscape. This has been done before in the Wind Waker. In that game, you explore pretty much the same Hyrule that was in Ocarina of Time, I would admit with a different art style. The major difference is that everything except the hilltops are covered in water. In addition, these new locations that have come out of the earth will probably be the new game's dungeons, traditional dungeons with a dark tone, much like Ocarina of Time's Shadow Temple. The underground cave system is not just going to rise up and change the geography, oh no, there will be much, much more than that. There is a high likelihood of Nintendo using concept art from Breath of the Wild in this new game, as they have done this countless of times before. For Breath of the Wild, there is concept art of these set of foul creatures that didn't make it into the final cut of the game. I think that they will make their way into the sequel in the form of the denizens of the underworld, who are these beasts. I strongly believe that they are what remains of the Zonai society. We don't know how evolution works in the Zelda canon. Perhaps being stuck underground and exposed to Ganondorf's malice transformed them into horrible creatures. When the ground rises up, the army of Zonai beasts will be unleashed onto Hyrule. This is Ganon's master plan. For the past hundreds of years, the people of Hyrule have been led to believe that Calamity Ganon is their true threat. However, the real Ganondorf has been waiting for centuries while he gathers an army underneath the ground and waits for the perfect time to have the underworld system rise out of the ground and have his army destroy what is left of Hyrule once and for all. Eiji Aonuma has said that this sequel will be much darker than Majora's Mask, and to me, what I just described sounds much darker than Majora's Mask, doesn't it? Having secret undergrounds is not unheard of in the Zelda series, even in Breath of the Wild, as in the Champion's Ballad, it is revealed that there was a secret dungeon located under the Great Plateau all the time, but I don't think this is too insane. Come on! Imagine exploring an ancient underground cave system that is spurted up above the ground in the sequel, and suddenly you hear a high-pitched scream that echoes across the cave walls. You turn, and standing above you is this hellish creature that looks like it wouldn't be out of place in a Stephen King novel. I mean, come on, you Cobbers would love to see that. What do you guys think of my theory? Do you reckon that there is a network of caves stretching across the land, or is it just too far out there to be true? Do you think that the Zonai transformed into demonic hellish creatures? I admit it is quite far-fetched, but so is the idea that a Zelda game will be more dark than Majora's Mask, and apparently that's happening. Anything is fair game at this point. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, that would be greatly appreciated, and share the video with your family and friends, and maybe even subscribe for more juicy Zelda content. Also, I've started a Twitter account. You can find me at AussieViking1. I post updates and such if you're interested. Check it out. Anyway, I've been the Aussie Viking, and I'll see you all later.